Hello and welcome everyone. This is Fundamentals of Communication Web Edition. I know the semester has just started. Hopefully everyone has taken a moment to review the syllabus and complete your initial assignments for the introduction period. However, I want to go ahead and take a moment to review the syllabus. Even if you have had a chance to review it, there is a lot of material and there is a lot of assignments that we cover in a very short time span. So I want to make sure that I go over that for you. A couple things. The type of environment that the structure of this class is will require that you record all of your speeches. We do have a virtual type of class, but instead of it actually having a designated meeting time, you will record your speeches and submit them to YouTube and then share the YouTube link. Whenever you share your link, then you just want to make sure that the privacy settings have been adjusted and I am able to see it, because if I cannot see your videos, then I'm not able to grade them. It will result in a 0 if you do not change the settings. So please make sure you change your privacy settings so that I can access it. Given the nature of this being an environment with a virtual class, I do have office hours that are virtually available for you guys. If you need some time to meet with me, schedule a video or even a phone call, please do not hesitate to reach out. I would rather you ask questions and take the time to go over everything with you in more detail than you sit in silence. There is no stupid question. A lot of times people are afraid to speak up because they think that they may be the only one who doesn't understand it or whatever the case may be. But please, if you have questions or even if you're just not sure about something, don't be afraid to speak up. As you can see on the syllabus, my name is Amy McCarroll. You are more than welcome to call me by my first name. You can call me Professor Amy, Professor McCarroll, either way. Some people call me almost Dr. Amy because I'm almost finished with my PhD, but whatever is more comfortable with you is completely fine, as long as it's something nice. Thankfully, I have not had anyone call me anything nice or not nice yet, but hopefully that doesn't happen. But anything, as long as whatever's your preference. I know some of you have already sent me messages on Momentum, and that is completely fine. If you want to use that platform, you are more than welcome to message me on Momentum, but I rarely check those messages. I would say I check them maybe once a week. I do have access to my Roan State email directly on my phone. If you email me at the Roan State email, I will respond to you usually within 24 to 48 business hours. I do, of course, have other classes, other things in my schedule. There may not be an immediate reply, but I will do my best to respond as fast as I can. This is also mentioned on the syllabus, but I may have delays on weekends and holidays. Usually I respond relatively quick, especially during the week, but there may be a delay on, like, if it's fall break or if it is over Thanksgiving, anything like that, and then Saturdays and Sundays, of course. But aside from that, it should be usually 24 to 48 business hours. As you can see, I start off the syllabus with a lot of quotes. I love quotes. I think they're incredibly important and they tie in heavily to this class. Even though this class is about communication and public speaking, and I'm sure most of you dread public speaking as it is one of the world's greatest fears, this class is a life skill. It is truly something valuable that you can apply to literally every aspect of your life for the rest of your life if you allow it to do so. That being said, this requires some self-work. Public speaking is something that takes time to develop and process and build those skills. And that's not something that happens overnight. And the change ultimately happens within you as the individual, which means you have to put forth the work and put forth the effort. But don't let that scare you away. I promise it's 1,000% worth it. And hopefully you grow to love it and see the value in public speaking. But you may get tired of hearing the quotes. I apologize. I love the quotes. I think they're fantastic and they're great for personal development. And hopefully you kind of see that as you were creating the 15 goals that you set forth for the semester. I am reviewing this syllabus for actually 2 of my public speaking classes. And communication classes. It is called Fundamentals of Communication. The syllabus is mostly the same. We will do basically the same assignments, but one of them is 15 weeks and one of them is 10 weeks. I will go over the information for each of the classes in this video, but you will just know to adapt whether you're in the 10-week or the 15-week class. Now, for those in the 15-week class, you have more time to work on your assignments. You may feel less pressured, whereas those in a 10-week class have less time, but you'll be finished sooner. Either way, it's very similar. It's just one is a faster pace, which is considered an advanced pace class, but it is essentially the same coursework, the same assignments. The department requires that this class in general, regardless of its duration, has the same core class material, and all of the same speeches are also required. There's actually even a 7-week class as well. But this semester, I am only teaching the 10-week and the 15-week. So we will go over a variety of different concepts related to public speaking and communication throughout the semester. I will be sharing different videos with you, videos that I present and that I record for lecture material, and I may also share some other outside sources that could be beneficial for you as well. We will begin by going over all of the basic principles of communication and public speaking, and then hopefully you'll be able to see how those kind of go hand in hand and tie in together. You do not need a textbook. I will allow you to have note cards whenever you give your speeches, but you do actually have to have a note card. Please don't have a piece of paper. Please don't be reading off of your phone. Both of those things are distractions. And the goal for this class is to also help you not only be a better communicator, but when you are presenting your speeches, you will hopefully be able to present it in a professional context. If you have the note cards, that will also come across and be more professional. You do want to, of course, make sure that you have a Wi-Fi connection and you're able to access the internet, and there's not going to be any time that you won't need that. For all of your major speeches, you are required to stand in full body length. The reasoning behind that is because part of being a good presenter and being a good speaker is you want to have great speech delivery. Speech delivery is anything that anyone else can observe about you. That's your hand gestures, what you're wearing, your eye contact, your nonverbal cues, and we'll go more in detail about all of those elements as the semester progresses. But if you are only recording from here up, then I can't look and observe all of those things. And those things are extremely important things that you need to learn from this class, and I need to be able to observe you. So we do have to adapt a little bit since this is a virtual environment and we're not in a traditional classroom setting. That being said, you have a little bit of flexibility with how you want to do that. There will be a PowerPoint required for all of your major speeches. Now, we do some minor speeches, and when I say minor speeches, that means they are not counted as much weight as the other speeches. For example, we have 5 major speeches. All 5 of those have 100-point value, and then those require an outline that you will have to complete. The outline will always be due the day before the speech is due. Now, with the minor speeches, those are still important concepts and important speeches for you to know how to do in case you ever had to do it in a real life situation, but those do not have as much weight. You don't have to have full body length. You don't have to have a PowerPoint. You don't have to have any of those things, and you don't have to have an outline. I would encourage it if you want to go the extra mile, but you do not have to. But if you want to kind of get in a good habit of doing things, then I would recommend it. Now, you can prop your phone up and have your PowerPoint on your laptop beside you, but it is important that whenever you record your video, yes, you do need to upload the PowerPoint file, but I also need to be able to visually see the PowerPoint beside you. If you were, and let's just say you were working in a corporate environment and you had to do a presentation in the real world, quote unquote, then you may, and more than likely 9 times out of 10 would have to have a PowerPoint. That means that it's important for you to get adjusted by using the PowerPoint, being on track with what you're saying, making sure the slides on the screen align with all of those things. Because if you're just talking, whereas if you have a PowerPoint, that's another element added to the equation. If you're nervous, have any feelings of anxiety or anything like that, trying to focus on what you're saying and how to say it, also navigating your PowerPoint, that just adds an extra layer to things, which can be difficult to work on both. So you can have your laptop, or if you have an iPad, a tablet, that's one way to do it. Or you can, a lot of students will connect their laptop to a television screen so that the PowerPoint is on their TV and then that is in the background. So if you want to do that, I'm not exactly sure of the technology, how to do that. If you guys know how to do that, great. I teach communication, not technology. So I think you just hook up an HDMI cable, but don't hold me to that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure you could easily Google it or go to a YouTube video and figure it out. All of your speeches, you are required to dress up in business attire. I will post some information about what qualifies as business attire and what does not, but it is important to dress up. I know some of you may hate to dress up, but I promise there's a reasoning behind it. Back to the quotes. One of my favorite quotes is, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you do good. And I believe there is so much truth behind that. If someone takes the time to dress up, fix themselves up, whereas if you just wake up, throw on some sweatpants, maybe throw your hair in a bun, no makeup, and you're just sloppy, chances are not going to be as confident as if you were to dress up. You wouldn't go to an interview in sweatpants. Dress like you would to go to an interview, and I promise it makes a big difference, not only for your audience but also for yourself, because you are essentially doing a disservice to yourself if you don't dress up, because you're taking away from the confidence that you could have that would be portrayed whenever you are presenting your speeches. Also, part of giving a good speech means that you build and establish trust with your audience. If you are in sweatpants or whatever and just a baggy t-shirt, whereas if you're dressed up and you're in a suit and you look the part, chances are your audience is going to deem you as more credible and trust what you're saying, because when you talk about something, you are the source. You're talking about it, so your audience is building and establishing that trust with you as well. The entire semester is made up of a 1,000 point system. The 5 speeches are 100 points each, and then the outlines are 20 points each. The class does require, to pass, you must complete at least all 5 of those speeches and the outlines. The reflective paper, which I have already also posted one of those. There are 2 reflective papers. There will be assignment sheets and grading rubrics with all the specific details for all graded assignments. There may be some assignments that are for participation points as well, but if it is for a grade, then there will be detailed assignment sheets with the grading rubric. If it is just a post for an ungraded assignment, then there will just be specific instructions along with that post. But there are instructions with the reflective paper that just gives you an opportunity to kind of incorporate where you are, where you stand with public speaking, where you stand with communication. Do you feel confident with your public speaking skills or your communication skills? And it could be anything related to communication or public speaking. It could be about giving an actual presentation. It could be whether it's one-on-one communication with a friend or opening up and sharing your feelings. If someone betrayed you, do you feel comfortable calling them out on how they upset you or how you manage conflict? It could be anything related to any type of communication. Communication, of course, is the study of human behaviors and how we interact and engage in relationships. So think about what your 15 goals are, and if you want to incorporate some of those 15 goals into the reflective paper, you are more than welcome to, but you do not have to. But ultimately, I do not want the reflective paper to be a research paper. I want it to be more about you as the individual. I want you to focus on yourself. The second reflective paper is going to be due at the end of the semester, and that's kind of a recap. So at the beginning of the semester, you will reflect. Think about how you feel now about public speaking or communication. You could consider sharing a personal story. At the end, you will do a recap of the second reflective paper will be a reflection of after you have completed the course. Do you feel that your public speaking skills have improved? Do you feel as if your communication skills have improved? Do you feel more confident overall with your public speaking or your communication? And you can do a recap of the initial story that you shared, or if you want to share something completely different, you are more than welcome to do that as well. Just again, as a reminder, I do not want it to be a research paper. Now, that being said, even though it is a self-reflection, you are still required to cite at least 3 sources. Those sources need to be cited in MLA format. And a lot of people say, well, Miss McCarroll, how do I cite sources if I'm talking about myself? What you want to do is think about what you are talking about. For example, if you have severe anxiety in front of an audience, then you may consider citing a source about the statistics about how many people have public speaking anxiety or how many people don't have public speaking anxiety. If you struggle with doing PowerPoint presentations, then you may consider finding a source about how to improve your public speaking skills with PowerPoint presentations. Whatever it is, it does not have to be exactly what you are talking about, but the source needs to be able to branch off about your own content and support what you are saying. So hopefully that makes sense to everyone. You will do the same thing with your speeches as well, which we'll dive into that later on as the semester progresses. But if anyone has any questions about that, please feel free to email me and reach out, and I'm more than happy to discuss it with you further. Each of the reflective papers are worth 25 points each, which go into that 1,000 point system. The next 2 assignments are going to be I will go ahead and tell you what they are now, but you will have until the end of the semester to complete the assignments. I will make the Dropbox discussion board available for both. and I will post specific assignment sheet instructions with the grading rubric. The first thing that you have to do is attend a Toastmasters business meeting. If anyone is not familiar with Toastmasters, I will share a little bit about that, what that is. I am actually the president of the West Knoxville Toastmasters Club. I have been going to Toastmasters for maybe about 5 years now, and it has been incredibly beneficial, especially with public speaking and just overall communication. There are a lot of members who share a ton of testimonies, and you'll kind of see whenever you go. But it is a nonprofit organization. It is a worldwide organization. Knoxville alone, I think last time I checked, may have close to 30 clubs, and a lot of those meet in person. Some of them have hybrid options where they meet in person and then they also meet online, or some of them exclusively meet online as well. Most of the ones in the Knoxville area meet in person, and some of them have the hybrid option, but you don't necessarily have to attend a Toastmasters meeting that is just in the Knoxville area. Toastmasters is all over the world, and it's free for you to attend. There is absolutely no charge to be a guest. If you did decide to join, then you would have to pay $60 every 6 months, but you don't have to worry about that now. It's 100% free. You can go as a visitor as many times as you would like, but if you wanted to find a Toastmasters meeting to attend in Tokyo or California or Colorado, you are more than welcome to do that. If you want to find a hybrid club or one that it just meets virtually. And what I will do is I will post a tool for the Toastmasters. Basically, it says Toastmasters find a club, and then you have the option to narrow it down with all of these filters. You can put the specific times of day, specific days of the week, or if you want in person or virtual. And I would almost guarantee no matter what time of day that you want to go to the club, you should be able to find at least something that goes with your schedule, because there's clubs, there's thousands all over the world, and there's a club that meets every single day. You will have to record a 5 to 7 minute video about your experience. All you have to do is the video. You don't have to do an outline. You don't have to do the sources, and you don't have to do a PowerPoint. If you want to, again, by all means, you can, but you are not required to do that for the Toastmasters video. Just a 5 to 7 minute video, and I will post this in the instruction, but I do need either the president's name or the vice president of education's name with their contact, including their email or their phone number, or both. I've had students in the past who have tried to research Toastmasters and try to dip out of the meeting and just kind of wing it. That's not going to work, because we have a very strategic setup at our meeting, and even if you research it, you would not truly know what a meeting is like unless you actually attended. So it is only 1 hour. It's not a long time. So please attend the meeting. You have the entire semester, so whether you're in the 15-week class or the 10-week class, you still have plenty of time. I highly encourage you to not wait until the last minute. I've had students in the past where they say, the assignment's due in 2 days, I'm going to go to a meeting tomorrow. And then, who knows, maybe something happens and life happens and they just can't go to the meeting for whatever reason, and then they do not get to complete the assignment. So plan ahead. Another quote, if you don't prepare to plan, then you prepare to fail, I think is how it's worded, something like that. But I believe there's a lot of truth to that as well. But I will post the tool so that you can find it easily. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. I will also require that you do the same thing, a similar instruction with going to a business networking group. A business networking group is incredibly beneficial. I remember whenever I was a student at the University of Tennessee, the head of the department at the time, his name was Dr. Hawes. Everyone called him the king of networking, because if anybody needed any type of resource, he was the go-to guy. And some of you may or may not be familiar with networking, but if you're not familiar with networking, it is extremely important regardless of what industry you decide to go in, because in today's job market especially, people don't just hire based upon a resume and application that you submit. A lot of times they want referrals. So if you go to business networking groups on a regular basis, that gives you the opportunity to meet new people, build new relationships, establish different types of connections, and the more that you know, then the easier it is going to be for you in the job market. And it's not just about seeing who can help you, it's also about helping other people. If you go to, let's just say you go to a networking group and then you meet somebody that sells vacuum cleaners. I think that's probably a thing of the past, but I was just saying that for the sake of the conversation. But if you go and someone is selling vacuum cleaners, but then let's just say your friend Joe in a few weeks, his vacuum cleaner died and he just wants a new vacuum cleaner. You know what? I just met Molly at this networking group last week. Let me give you her contact information. Or it could be somebody in sales. It could be real estate, someone that sells cars or whatever the case may be. But the more people you know, the more you can help other people and the more that they can help you. Both of those will be required at the end of the semester. Both will be a 5 to 7 minute video. Now, the other thing that is also required at the end of the semester, this is technically part of your final exam. Your final exam will have 2 components. One of them will be sort of a surprise, so I will not tell you about one of those until we get to the end of the semester for the final exam. But I want to go ahead and tell you about one of them now so that you can prepare. For the final exam, one of the things you will do is you will find a book about public speaking, communication, leadership, or anything that is related to something that you could tie into the course material in this class. I will post a list of books that you can choose from, or you can choose your own. Regardless what it is, all of them have to be approved, and I have to approve your book. If I do not approve your book, then you will not have the opportunity to speak. This is also similar, 5 to 7 minutes. Give a book presentation, and I will create an assignment sheet with all the details, all the specifics, but you don't have to do a PowerPoint, you don't have to do an outline, but you will have to ensure that you tie the book into the class, and as you're doing the book presentation, you're explaining how it can be applied to real life situations by what we learned in the class. 2 students cannot speak on the same book. So what I will do is I will post a discussion board. I'll also do this for all of the speeches. This is also required. You will lose points if you do not do this. But for example, for the introduction speech, I will, not for the introduction speech because that's your self-introduction, but for the informative speeches, 2 people cannot speak on the same topic. You also cannot speak on the same topic twice. If one person says they want to speak on soccer, then somebody else will see that person A posted soccer, person B cannot talk about soccer because it's already accounted for. So person B would have to choose a new topic. If someone has already chosen soccer and then the second person chooses to talk about soccer as well, then this person, the second person, would lose points. So it will be your responsibility to make sure that you look at the discussion board to make sure no one else has spoken on that topic. I will reach out to you if your topic is not approved. It will be your responsibility to know whether or not you are talking about the right type of speech. And we'll have time. I'll go over some lecture material before you have to do your first speech that's informative or anything else, so you'll know exactly what the specifics are and how to construct that speech. So you will know the details, but you will need to know what type of speech you're presenting and ensure that it aligns with all of the requirements. I will share some videos, and I'll also post different files and articles for you to reference as well. And I will do the same thing for the final exam book. You will have to have your book approved, and the same 2 people cannot speak about the same book. All speeches have to be 5 to 7 minutes. everyone has to have a PowerPoint. The reflective papers I meant to say a moment ago, both of those have to be at least 1,500 words. That is outlined in the assignment sheet. If you have questions about citing sources or you do not know how, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can look at Purdue OWL. That is a wonderful resource about how to properly cite sources. I do not take late work under any circumstance. Now, I do know that life happens. We, unfortunately, for example, this summer, I had 3 family members pass away in the same week, unfortunately. A great uncle, my grandfather, and a cousin. Life happens out of our control, and we have no idea when it's going to happen, unfortunately. I realize life happens. I will ask that you please communicate with me. And of course, this is a communication class. The goal is to learn how to communicate. If you just go MIA for a couple weeks and then you start trying to do your assignments again and they're late, chances are I'm not going to let you make it up. But if something's going on in your life and you take the time to reach out and talk with me, send me an email, communicate, since it's a communication class, then chances are I'm more than willing to try my very best to work with you to accommodate. Of course, every situation will be a case-by-case basis, but I will do my best to work with you. But if you don't communicate, then I can't work with you. If you do have to submit something late, then I will ask that you have documentation, such as if you have COVID or you go to the doctor, please provide a doctor's note. If you had car troubles, show me the receipt that you had to pay for the vehicle. Whatever it is, please communicate and please provide documentation. Now, for the structure of this particular class, we do have 200 participation points. Now, since we don't have actual attendance, whereas you don't have to be somewhere at a specific time, there's not an attendance policy per se in place, but you can lose participation points. Participation points can be lost if you refuse to do any of the minor activities, any of the discussion boards, if you are late on assignments, if you don't respond to your classmates' discussion boards, and all of those things are posted. You do have to participate and engage and participate in the discussion, or you would lose participation points for that particular discussion. So each time that the participation points were lost, it would be taken away from those 200 points that are dedicated for this particular participation points. If you do struggle or you don't have the financial needs available to purchase business attire, if you don't have that, there is actually an interview closet with free resources. You have to get someone in the office, I believe, to unlock it because it stays locked, but all of that is available to you, and you can go to the interview closet and you can find business attire. The use of AI, I know that is a major hype right now with artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, in this course, it is not allowed under any circumstance whatsoever. I do realize some instructors allow you to use AI for various reasons. Unfortunately, I do not allow it in my classes at all. You at some point may work for a company, or you may already work for a company that allows you to use AI as a tool. And it can be an incredibly beneficial tool, but you guys at the level you're at, you're still learning. If you are using AI, you are only doing a disservice to yourself because you are taking away from the learning experience. Learning also requires thinking and using your own skills, implementing your own creativity. And if you are using AI, you are literally taking a shortcut and you're not truly learning. So you could be missing out on valuable skills that you may need in the future. If you are caught using AI, that particular assignment will be an automatic 0. We have different tools and resources that we can detect if you have used AI or not. It has happened multiple times with multiple students. Depending on the situation and how many times it's happened, then you could fail the class, you could fail the course, you could fail one particular assignment, or you could get removed from your program. Various things have happened. I have seen across the board. I had a situation last semester. I had a student write 2 papers with AI and they ended up failing my class. We had a meeting with the president and the dean, and it was a crazy situation. But just please don't use it. There, regardless of what happens, there will be disciplinary action. If I see that you've used it, I will give you a 0 and we may be having a conversation, but it will also be reported as well to the dean. And whatever action takes place may not be up to me. I realize some students may have disabilities or disabilities that have been reported to the Disability Services Department. Sometimes when they send it to me, it's not always very specific. If you have a specific accommodation that you need me to work with you about, please feel free to reach out and send me a message. We can schedule a call if you would like, so that we can talk about your needs in detail. There's so many different types of disabilities, and every person may need different types of accommodations. Also, if you have a disability, you may not even know that you can report it. If you were not aware, keep in mind that is something you may consider, or maybe just going to talk to them. Counseling services are available completely for free. There is a counselor that is available for you. Tutoring is available for you. Everyone struggles at some point in their life. Everybody has hardships. If anything is going on and you feel like you just need someone to talk to, counseling is there for you. There is a course schedule available that is posted. We will try our best to kind of stay on track with that, but it's possible we may kind of get a little bit off track. It is there mostly as a guide. But I will post every assignment and the due date on Momentum with specific instructions. And for the 15-week class, you'll usually have at least a week to complete the assignment. The 10-week class, I'm sorry guys, unfortunately it is a fast-paced class, so there may be assignments where you have less time. I will try my best to give as much time as possible, but unfortunately that may not always be the case. But you will be done with class sooner, which is the good news. But either way, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I will begin posting videos and I will go over the assignments in more specific detail as they come to us as we approach that time in the semester, and there will hopefully be enough detail that everybody fully understands everything. But if you don't, again, please feel free to reach out, and then we will cover various lectures about different elements of communication and public speaking. But if anyone has any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I am more than happy to assist. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope everyone is having a fantastic start to the semester. Thank you. Talk soon.